So hello. Good afternoon, folks. How's everyone doing? This is your boy Ed, and I am here with another check-in. So my day today so far, uh, it's a blessing still. In spite of, I have had a challenging day, and I definitely think that I can do better. But I think I did a little better than I would have in terms of being able to face it. Because just when it comes to life, in the face of issues and isms and problems, I tended to not deal with it. And I didn't deal with it by walking away or, blah, 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 blah. But it was still undone. So what I've done today was just say, hey, okay, this happened. Um, It is unfortunate. It is inconvenient. The timing is not well. But you can process this differently. You can trust God and you can do what you need to do because that doesn't throw off the goal and the motive, which is to get on the other side. So that means for me to continue pursuing my goal in spite of the setback that I faced and intentionally doing that to continue to pursue the goal. I'm still on par and on course for um, accomplishing my goals and my tasks for this week. And then I can just continue to push forward and continue to resolve other things I need to work on. So I'm super excited about that because that's literally growth. And then in the moment, because as I was speaking that, it was dawning on me, if you will. So I'm learning along with you. You know what I'm saying? I have such a long way to go, but I have come so far. Um, and I'll share with you, I am a really sensitive person and I'm a really forgiving person. Like when I say forgiving, especially depending on your relationship, but in general for people, I tend to let go of things fairly easily. Unless it's a personal, and when I say it's a personal, meaning I've given you a particular space on my inside, like you have been allowed through certain, well, the barriers. Like there's no, and it's unhealthy, and I'm realizing it that I'm not always quick to set boundaries with people, and so that's why people step where they will because they don't know um, within themselves what a boundary should be. So because I've not established them, because they don't know and or don't care, they're going to continue prancing around on my feelings and continue crossing over lines that I just feel like at a particular age that a person should have. I think that a few things just in general, I think always set the tone and they are all founded in love. So it's love, it's patience, it's kindness, it's grace, it's mercy. It's those things that will in a general sense, but specifically for however you process those things, they will teach you how to handle people, how to really just, again, love on them. That's the foundation of it all, to actually love on somebody and be patient in spite of the fact that they have wronged you. It is also a healthy thing to ask, well, how did I contribute to the relationship or to the situation, the thing that led to my displeasure? In my instance, it was because I never set boundaries with people because I just feel like you should know because I kind of just, for the most part, and I understand I can't expect the behavior of others to match and or exceed mine. I would like to expect that, but I can't expect that. And when I say I can't expect that, I don't mean it in a negative way. I simply mean that when they do what they do, for me not to be so offended, to get so easily offended, to take it so personally, because I can't obviously control how someone else responds. I'm only in control of my response, right? So when they do what they do, it's not necessarily that I'm receiving it to say that this behavior is acceptable, it's okay, I'm fine with it, it don't bother me. It's not saying that. It's saying that you're doing that. I don't like it, but I can't control what you do. I can control my response. Now here is where my big heart comes in. I I don't do well in holding grudges. I either do or I don't with you. I don't really have an in between. But when it comes to things, matters where there's a personal connection, it's an actual relationship. And, I love you, I respect you, I wish you well, I desire you well, I think well for you, I pray for you for wellness. You know what I'm saying? It cut a little deeper. It cuts a little deeper. And with some, my heart, having not set boundaries, I would be the one a lot of times, or I would always even be open, but more so I would be the one to make that first move towards reconciliation because I love you. I rock with you. I want you to win. Like, I really love with you. I rock with you. It's not often that people have an opportunity to get that close to me nowadays. I've changed a little bit, but even a lot of that is out of order because I'm still learning it and I'm still growing, and I can be honest about it, and I'm okay being honest about it. I have so much work to be done. But where I find myself in a pickle is I'll have, like, I have a particular person, I'm not gonna, but I have a particular person whose actions and words, for me at this point in life, portray their disposition. And it's hard to receive that. It's hard to receive that because I love you, and while I don't like it, I believe there's more there. I believe I believe, and I be feeling like if I just love on you and be patient with you, and if I just kind of and it almost steal myself and not rock the boat, not step out on you, then we can get to a place of solace. But I find every time I do that, I'm gonna say about 93% of the time that I've done that with people, about 93% of the time I've done that with people, he weak, he gullible, he is a pushover, he is a doormat. Oh, that's just Eddie. You could do whatever. You don't really have to consider him much. Literally every time. But when I stand in my truth and I stand in my principle, even if I'm not mad, because sometimes I get ticked off, because when it's personal, it cuts and that hurts. I feel stuff. I don't know. There's some people out there, maybe they don't feel anything. And that's leading to another conversation. I'm not going to do that, but I'm learning how to work through that, because I'll go through my emotions, but I'll walk away from you. But then I'll be so open to just us getting past it. But the thing that's funny, it's never past it. It's literally always you've taken it, you've removed it from the table. It's no longer in the table. You've placed it in the foyer. You've placed it in the holding area. You've placed it in queue. You've not dealt with it. You just move forward and you don't actually touch on the things that are the issue. And with this particular person, unfortunately, I've not been able to touch on the things that's the actual issue, because this person, for one, in certain instances, has refused to acknowledge any wrongdoing, stating instead that I didn't think I was wrong in doing that. That's not cool, because you totally disregard me in that way. You disregard me. You tell me I don't care. You disrespect me to my face. And that's not the first time that it's happened with this particular person. Over the years, because of the nature of the relationship, the way I'm connected to this person, I like to think that and it should be, but I'd like to think that there's potential, because I see potential there. But at what cost? Like, to what extent? To what extent am I willing to allow my loyalty to the relationship to you to supersede me receiving and processing who you are, because this is what you consistently show me, and my response to it, because I have to consider me. I don't like chaos. I don't like confusion. I don't like frustration. I don't like drama unless it's on Hulu, Netflix, Peacock. You get it, the apps. That's why I like my drama. Scandal. All of my shows I love. Martin, Living Single. They had a little drama in them, but it was mostly laughter, except for on Scandal. But when it was funny, it was very funny. But choosing me and what's comfortable, not even comfortable, but just a boundary. And it's when I establish those boundaries within myself, I'm led to cut the person off. I am not led to continue on trying to engage in a relationship where the other person is not willing to put in the energy. They're not matching my effort. They're not even trying to match my effort. It looks to be, but you're never actually dealing with the issue. And if you never sit down and have a level-headed discussion about the issue, you will never get past it. You will always and forevermore be there. So for all of the progress that we've made, it's not a togetherness. There's not a unison there. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist, and it doesn't exist because the other party is not willing to meet me at the table. That is a lot of the issue with humanity. People get in their way based on their experiences, their childhood, their growth, their perspectives on those things, and the processing of said perspective, and then like a resolute to where that's the outlook. That's how they move. That's how they plan their moves from this thought process, because that's what they've built and concocted within themselves. Why do I understand that? Because I've done it. And I realized for me, that was not going to work no more, because for all you're getting, what have you got? What do you actually have possession of? And what's important to actually own? What's actually important? And then when you come from a situation where you don't have the tools and the resources, you have to go that much harder to try to figure out what's opposite, what's on the other side of this. But then that's not even easy because you've already learned how to not trust. So it's like you're operating, but from behind a fortress. That complicates things because the message is going to be the message, but sometimes like Juneteenth, and I don't say this, well, let's hear it out and then let me know, because people, they have their thoughts and their feelings about stuff. Juneteenth, if I'm not mistaken, the slaves found out about 2 years later that they were free. So do you see where I'm going with that? Because when you don't know you're free, you're bound. And even though you have your fortress, you have your creature comforts, you are good to go. You think you're on your way, but you've isolated yourself. You've hidden yourself away. And I get it, it's a protective measure. But at what point do you learn how to fight to get out of there? Like, what's on the other side of that? And so with people, because they're not really willing to get in the mirror. See, you have to be in front of the mirror with yourself before you could ever sit down and have like a really fair and realistic, logical, factual conversation. And I think another thing that happens when it comes to people and having conversations, people get so caught up in their emotions about a thing. Listen, a fact is a fact is a fact. Ain't no feeling in no fact. It's a fact. This literally is what's, it's a fact. That's not, that's emotionless. Because, for instance, it's whatever degrees it is outside. The fact of the matter is, it's hot. Okay? It's hot. Hot. Right? That's a fact. So why, if we sit down to talk about the intensity of the heat, do you feel a way? At the end of the day, whichever end of the spectrum you're on, it's hot. That's the fact. So if that could be established, then we can actually move forward and have Better conversation. Well, it's pool weather. People can go swimming. People can get in their swimwear and splash water. People can fire up their grill. You can have a party all into the night, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. You can chill out. You can go out to eat. And don't let it not be raining and the sun is out. Oh, that's even better. You feel inspired to move. You can have those conversations, but it takes a person getting in front of the mirror to confront themselves. You have to confront yourself before you deal with someone else. Now, confrontation, the word to confront, I have always viewed that again with a negative connotation, and viewed it with the negative connotation because my examples, one of negativity. There was no way any of that was going to produce positivity. Like there was not necessarily most times a great outcome. I mean, violence begets violence, and whether it's in your thoughts or your actions, that's what that is, and it's just true. And I'm guilty of it, so it's about learning how to correct. And even in the heat of the moment, we still have to learn how to be in control of our emotions, of our feelings, of ourselves, of our passions. We have to be in touch with them, but be in control of them. Do not allow them to make decisions for you because you'll find yourself doing things that you cannot take back. And as people, we've got to get in front of the mirror. That's going to be the message for the day. Get in front the mirror. D-A mirror. Get in front of the mirror. Get in front of the mirror. Look at yourself. Observe you. Think about you. Concentrate on you. Focus on you. And I don't mean in an unhealthy way. I mean in just like overarching what's the word? When you step outside yourself to look at a situation from another perspective. I can't think of the word right now, but take an objective view of yourself specifically. I tend to speak just FYI in general terms about specific situations, but those specific situations are going to be things and situations and the isms and your response. It's going to be your life. Like, how are you, coping? How are you head above water? How are you floating? Do you want to get there? How are you, crawling? How are you walking? How are you resting? Like, what is it that you do and how are you doing it? Like, and then where do you stand in doing it? Because I believe that everyone's an individual. And so then everyone has their own individuality that comes with space. And that's a space to be who you are, your imperfectness, your flaws, your isms, the wonderful things, the quirky things, the hood things, the ratchet things, the professional things, the spiritual things, the religious things, the family things, the friend things, all of the things. As a person, you deserve space to be that. Because I make mistakes. Far from perfect, but I can honestly say I think I'm kind of decent. I think I'm pretty decent. I think I'm kind of decent. I'm decent. I'm decent. I say I'm decent because my intent is to love. It's not to harm. You know what I'm saying? It's not to take advantage of. It's not to tear down. Um, there's no darkness involved in it. As far as my general consensus on just dealing with people, you know what I'm saying? Our particular relationships are going to be our particular relationships. You'll have that particular bond with that person based on who you are to that person and who that person is to you. So that's kind of how that'll roll. But, I just think as far as relationships go as a person, the question that I was posing earlier is like, when recognizing your boundaries and the things you don't like and the things you don't want, when it comes to people that have actually established a space in your life, do you just throw it all away. Well, not even throw it away, but just let go of it as it is. You know what I'm saying? And you focusing, it's kind of like throwing it away. So do you throw it all away, or do you give it some time and you be the one to make the call, send the text, do the thing, you know what I'm saying, to try to work to a place of resolve, understanding you've not gotten past where you always were? Or do you, I don't know. The easy thing to say is give it to God. Uh, but how many of us know when you give it to Him, you trust Him with it and you let it go? But is there anything wrong with wise counsel? You know, I would love to be schooled on from an elder or someone who moves in the way of an elder, because I am the eternal student. Like, I don't know everything, and I would like to know as many applicable things as possible, because just because you can know something don't mean you need to know it. So I don't necessarily want to be taking up my head with unnecessary things and just have stuff up there. That's just not really what I necessarily aspire to. That's just not my goal. And I still got work to do on me, man. Like, I just want to live. I want us to win. I have beautiful dreams. I have beautiful vision. I have faith, I have belief, and I've been speaking on this thing for years. This thing that I'm pressing towards, I've been speaking on it. It's not even, it's perfected, but it's nothing new. I didn't just wake up one day and just want to do this. It's been years in the making. And by the grace of God, it's come to pass. Like, I'm walking in it now. I'm learning to operate in it now. This is by the grace of God, and I got there, and this could be a conversation for another day. But how I got there was to learn how to have a relationship with Him. Do I have the best relationship with Him? Absolutely not. But is it better than what I had? Absolutely. So it's a win-win for me. It's a win-win for me. So I'm gonna leave that conversation there. I'm gonna end with trust God, know that He is. And then let's deal with the human stuff. Like, why we act like, because we talk to God that, He don't speak through people, because I believe He do. I know He do personally. You know what I'm saying? I have learned that in my life. I thank God for the wisdom. Let me tell you what I was so appreciative of. I don't care how dark my day was. I don't care how rough was the space that I occupied when it was occupied. To have but a piece of kindness, a piece of love, a piece of consideration, a piece of respect, a piece of well wishes, and intention. Come on. That it did something for me. I could have been having the worst day ever, and it may have been a smile from a stranger, someone holding open the door, on the phone with customer service, someone is really cool and awesome. Delivery man was smiling. You know what I'm saying? Landlords was pleasant. Um, Whatever the case may have been, any amount of random things. That's why it's such a beautiful thing just to be kind. Like, it don't cost you nothing to be kind to somebody. But those things really meant the world to me. And on those low days, it was hope. You know what I'm saying? That is, in spite of what it looks like, it's not horrible out here. Like, had amazing conversations today. Let me tell you something that I'm super passionate about, and I'm going to get up off of here. I'm super passionate about having race discussions. I'm really open to race discussions because I've been having them with my customers. I've been having many race discussions with folks of all ethnicities. But what I love about the ones between me and white folks, because that seems to be the dominant situation in America, is that most white folks, just as I actually had learned historically, are actually for us. And some do feel uncomfortable because they don't know what to say and they don't necessarily always know how to say it. See what I'm saying? So they want to have the discussions, but they don't want to offend. And because they don't want to offend, sometimes they won't have a discussion, because everyone is not going to be so hospitable, generous in their reception of the way a person sees a thing. So if we can actually turn off the feelings and actually just discuss the facts, I think the conversation will go further because we can have an open discussion. I think it should be moderated, and of course, you sit down with respect. That's the whole goal. That's not the issue. The issue is how can we communicate? That's what's missing. So, we are going to work on that as well. We're going to do some things, and today is a new day. I'm excited. I'm hopeful, and that's where I'm headed. And I thank God for Jesus for real. And let me tell y'all, I got issues. I'm telling you. Promise you, but I love you so much. If you're hung in there with me, I appreciate you. Y'all know I'm long-winded. Y'all know I talk, but hey, I did better. It is not 37 minutes this time, so let's get into that. So I love y'all. Y'all be easy, and I'll talk to y'all later, man. Bye.